Honorable Prime Minister, what a pleasure to be here with you in Bhutan. And thank you so much for agreeing to spend some time with me on my video series that I do called Talking Development, which is all about development. And what better than to hear from you as Prime Minister of Bhutan on a couple of key development issues.
A warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
So happy to have you here, Anna. And you're here not just to see what we are doing in Bhutan, but rather to see for yourself firsthand the results of our partnership, the partnership between the World Bank and the Royal Government of Bhutan.
Yes, and it is such a strong partnership, and it's really wonderful to be able to see it up front and in person, not just to read about it. Prime Minister, I wanted to start by just acknowledging how much progress you've made to grow the economy, reduce poverty, and you've done it while preserving very much the unique cultural and natural heritage of your country. And you've also done it through the unique approach that you have on global national happiness. Can you share with us a little bit, how do you achieve the balance of it all?
Given where we were just a generation ago, we've achieved tremendous progress. Poverty has almost been eradicated. All our children go to school, we receive free health services, and we've achieved these results while also balancing and being true to our culture and tradition and nurturing our natural ecosystems. So all this is important, but most of the world overlooks what I consider to be one of the biggest results in the last generation, and that is the introduction of democracy. Free parliamentary democracy, a democracy that was established at a time of unprecedented peace, stability, and unity. All this was achieved, Anna, because of the enlightened leadership of our kings. And it is our king that has given to us the development philosophy of cross-national happiness. And it is His Majesty that has driven this agenda forward. But we have had friends along the way. And it is because of our friends that we've been able to maintain this balance that you speak of, this balance between economic growth and sustainability, economic progress and social progress, and not least of which among our friends is the World Bank. We've enjoyed decades of not just partnership and growth, but friendship of the World Bank, and we are deeply, deeply appreciative of this.
That's great. So many important parts there: the vision, the leadership, the balancing of a multitude of different priorities that have to come together, and partnerships. So thank you
Friendship.
for friendship. Yes. Partnership and friendship. So important. Thank you for emphasizing these. Another quite unique thing about Bhutan is that you're one of very few countries in the world that is carbon neutral. And this is a very interesting phenomenon in a time and in a world where we are seeing so many impacts from climate change. And I wanted to ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, how do you leverage this strength while at the same time facing the risks that climate change inevitably poses?
Well, climate change affects all countries, all nations, almost equally. But it is the smaller countries, the landlocked countries, the mountainous countries, or the tiny islands in the oceans. We are at the forefront of climate risk, and so this occupies us a great deal. However, we are a carbon negative country, not just carbon neutral. We were the first carbon negative country, and among a few handful of carbon neutral countries, we sequester almost 5 times more carbon dioxide equivalent per year than we emit. So we are heavily negative. Now, how do we leverage on our success as being carbon negative? I think our first responsibility is to continue climate action, is to continue ensuring that we are carbon negative. So that is our responsibility. Secondly, we must use our example to tell the rest of the world, countries, large and small, but also companies, that you can become carbon negative, and you must indeed become carbon negative. We don't need to lecture the world. There's enough lecturing going on. But to showcase our successes and our commitment to climate action, and to encourage other countries also to achieve their climate ambitions.
I love your focus on not becoming complacent even when you're carbon negative, but to really continuing to pursue resilient and sustainable solutions. I really like that. But another issue we're seeing in the world is global economic uncertainty. And of course, no country is insulated to global economic outlooks and the uncertainties that we can go through from time to time. How do you see the key challenges right now for Bhutan, but what do you also see as some of the opportunities?
Global events affect every individual country, and Bhutan is not spared. But our bigger problem is national events. And our national events, the biggest challenge is that many of our youth are going abroad to study and to work. This is a challenge for us. It is a danger for us because we are a very small population. We have only 750,000 people. All of them are fairly well educated. All of them, all our youth can speak a global language, which is English. And so because of this, they can get jobs elsewhere. Much more high-paying jobs in developed economies. If it is a problem because of our own successes. We are the victims of our development success. Our success being free, high-quality education in a global language, which has covered every student, every youth. And if we leave this as it is, unattended, we're going to lose even more youth. The obvious solution is to grow our economy. Yet our economy we cannot grow it recklessly. This is a huge problem for us. This problem is actually a huge opportunity. This problem represents thousands, tens of thousands of youth who are working abroad, who have developed experience, acquired more skills and knowledge, maybe saved some money, for them to return and help grow our economy. It is also an opportunity because there are even more tens of thousands of youth who are well educated and can contribute towards economic growth. So this is an opportunity. Our responsibility has to be to ensure that the environment is there for economic growth, particularly an environment for private sector development. Our private sector must flourish. Our entrepreneurs must flourish for our youth to be provided jobs, but also to create their own jobs. In this context, while we have the 13th five-year plan, which we are implementing, that is really focused, among many other things, towards private sector development and the digitization of our economy. And if we can achieve some of our plans and our objectives on the overall strategy to grow our economy tenfold, we would have created more than enough jobs.
So exciting and so visionary. My final question for you, a reflection really is, we have just achieved a major milestone together, which is to prepare a new country partnership framework. And it has as its major focus indicator, if you will, job creation, and particularly job creation for young people and women. And you touched on something very important, which is to get the private sector to play a larger role. Any specific ideas beyond those that you've already shared where you see the greatest opportunity for young people and women in the next few years going forward as part of the Bhutan economy?
Well, first, the milestone that we have achieved.
Yes.
I want to thank you for your support in getting our country partnership framework approved very recently. But Anna, the big milestone, the important milestone, the milestone that we must cherish is that Bhutan has graduated from the least developed countries category.
That's right.
And this has been possible because of your support, of the World Bank support, of many other multinational institutions and friendly governments, again, not least of which is the government of India. So graduating from the least developed country category is a huge milestone. A bigger challenge now is to stay graduated and not backslide.
Yes.
And having graduated, we must continue to offer prosperity for our people. We've created an economic development board, which I hope that the World Bank will partner with us and help strengthen it. We've also created a unit within my offices, the Prime Minister's office, to oversee the implementation of our plan to grow our economy tenfold. And we hope that you will partner with us and help support us along this journey. But the private sector also, they are also doing their part. They've identified the opportunities for outright private participation, but also many opportunities for public-private partnerships. So we are very excited.
I love your scale and ambition. I really, really appreciate that you're preserving the uniqueness of your country while being really bold on what you're trying to achieve and the modernization by using new technologies, new ideas, leveraging young people and women, because we have found in the World Bank that young people and women can bring a lot of stimulus to the economy. And you mentioned many important sectors which are exactly the same ones that we think are really conducive for job creation. So, Mr. Prime Minister, rely on us, count on us. We cannot wait to do this journey together with you.
And I'm going to rely on you, and I'm going to count on you in particular, because I've enjoyed our discussions earlier today about governing well without bureaucracy. And there's so much I need to learn.
There is so much there.
We
need to do it in our institution. You need to do it with your government.
One of our biggest bottlenecks towards progress and the realization of lofty ambitions all over the world is the bureaucracy, the mindset. And so how do you govern with minimum bureaucracy? So you must help us along this journey.
I would love to help you, and I would love to learn from your journey, because we ourselves as a large institution, a public institution, are really trying to break the concept that you have to be bureaucratic just because you're public. No, we're trying to say you can be a public institution, but with a mindset that is really about speed, scale, impact. Thank you so much,
Anna.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much.
So good to have you. Thank you so much.